We're going. So today we're at the Kunsthistorisches Museum, which is the Fine Arts Museum in Vienna, and we're going to be looking at the statue of Athena, which is on top of the building. So this is by...
I know.
Whoa. So it's unknown who created this, but it is of ancient Greek origin, and it's possibly a Roman copy of a Greek original. The medium of work is going to be marble, and then it was originally created in the 5th century BC, and then the Roman copies would have been made later on in like 2nd century AD. The historical relevance is that it is of Athena, the Greek goddess of wisdom. She was a central deity in Greek religion and mythology. I think most people have kind of heard her and her stories before. And then it represents the artistic standards of the period and reflects the Greek culture on Roman art and how Roman art was really influenced by the Greeks. So it took probably several months to a year depending on like the artist. Of course it's unknown who exactly did it, but depending on their skill level it could have taken them like a range of time, but it's unknown. And then it's important because it exemplifies the excellence of the classical Greek period, and that influence of Greek art on Roman culture. And then some things that stand out are that Athena usually is in her full armor, including a helmet and a shield and her spear as she like goes to battle. And she is depicted with like a dignified expression. And then another thing that's really beautiful is that the draping of her clothes, which is something that we often see in sculptures that can be really hard to achieve, and kind of highlights the sculptor's talent in being able to kind of build out those forms of the clothing. And then it's a striking representation of the goddess. And I chose it because I really like Greek mythology, and I think Athena is a really like powerful Greek mythological figure. Even from like growing up, Athena's kind of one of those goddesses that you like always hear about, and is depicted in a lot of present cultural things, like I don't know, like Percy Jackson, like that mythology and her kind of essence is still carried on. So I just think that she's really interesting. And then from observation, I think it's cool how like some of the pieces on her are like gold, and then it looks like the others are like bronze, and they're like starting to turn like green. So it's really beautiful the way that the gold is there and it like draws your attention, and then you see her and her stance and her clothing. And then compared to the other works in the period, it's a combination of artistic beauty and symbolic depth. And it embodies the ideal balance of the intellect and strength that was valued in Greek culture. And then my fun fact is that this is like kind of just like an observational fun fact, but I think it's really interesting how in front of the statue in the building there's this like beautiful courtyard, and all of like the hedges are like so perfectly like trimmed, and it's a little bit freaky because it's not something you see in the US, so you can tell that they really care about the appearance and kind of like keeping this area and these museums as a highlight in Vienna.